The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. This quote emphasizes that effective leadership is critical to the success and survival of an organization. It can be the determining factor between prosperity and failure. All warfare is based on deception. This quote suggests that strategic leadership involves utilizing deception as a tactic to gain an advantage over opponents and achieve desired outcomes. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it on. This quote highlights that leaders who have experienced the negative aspects of a situation can develop effective strategies for success and understand the value of avoiding unnecessary conflicts. The skillful soldier does not raise a second levy, neither are his supply wagons loaded more than twice. This quote emphasizes that efficient resource management is vital for effective leadership. Skillful leaders make the most of available resources without overburdening them. To fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. This quote suggests that true leadership excellence lies in finding ways to overcome challenges and achieve objectives without resorting to direct confrontation and violence. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. This quote emphasizes that successful leaders possess the discernment to choose battles wisely and avoid unnecessary conflicts. They understand the importance of strategic restraint. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. This quote highlights the importance of comprehensive knowledge of both internal capabilities and external factors that is crucial for success. Understanding both oneself and the opponent is key to achieving victory and avoiding defeat. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins but excels in winning with ease. This quote suggests that exceptional leaders go beyond mere victory and achieve success effortlessly. They demonstrate exceptional skill and mastery in achieving their goals. Making no mistakes is what establishes the certainty of victory, for it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. This quote emphasizes that minimizing mistakes is crucial for ensuring success and achieving overwhelming victories. Effective leaders strive for flawless execution to secure a definitive and decisive victory. Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. The soldier works out his victory in relation to the foe whom he is facing. This quote means that effective leaders adapt their strategies to the specific circumstances and challenges they encounter. Success in warfare is gained by carefully accommodating ourselves to the enemy's purpose. This quote suggests that effective leadership requires understanding and adapting to the intentions and objectives of competitors or counterparts. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision, to the releasing of the trigger. This quote suggests that leadership requires harnessing energy and taking decisive action to drive progress and achieve desired outcomes. Anger may in time change to gladness, vexation may be succeeded by content. But a kingdom that has once been destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. This quote emphasizes that leaders should focus on cultivating positive emotions, resolving conflicts, and avoiding irreversible damage or destruction, as rebuilding and resurrection may not always be possible. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. This quote suggests that in leadership roles, when dealing with individuals who are easily agitated, it can be strategic to provoke them subtly and allow their overconfidence to work to your advantage. In war, practice dissimulation, and you will succeed. This quote highlights that leaders outside of military contexts can benefit from adopting strategic deception and calculated concealment in order to achieve success in their endeavors. If the enemy leaves a door open, you must rush in. This quote emphasizes that leaders should seize opportunities promptly and capitalize on favorable conditions when presented with them. We cannot enter into alliances until we are acquainted with the designs of our neighbors. This quote emphasizes that leaders should thoroughly understand the intentions, goals, and values of potential collaborators before forming alliances or partnerships to ensure compatibility and mutual benefit. The experienced soldier, once in motion, is never bewildered. Once he has broken camp, he is never at a loss. This quote highlights that experienced leaders, when faced with new challenges or change, remain composed, adaptable, and decisive, drawing upon their expertise to navigate unfamiliar situations. If you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. This quote suggests that leaders who possess a deep understanding of both their own strengths, weaknesses, and objectives, as well as those of their competitors or counterparts, can increase their chances of achieving success in their leadership endeavors. The general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple ere the battle is fought. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. This quote means that effective leaders engage in meticulous planning, strategizing, and careful consideration of various factors before undertaking significant endeavors, minimizing the chances of failure and increasing the likelihood of success. The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. This quote means that effective leaders know when to adopt a defensive or offensive approach, strategically adapting their actions to seize opportunities or protect against threats. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline, thus it is in his power to control success. This quote emphasizes that successful leaders prioritize ethics, establish clear processes, and maintain discipline, giving them the ability to influence and control the outcomes. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline, simulated fear postulates courage, simulated weakness postulates strength. This quote means that skillful leaders understand that by strategically presenting controlled disorder, fear, or weakness, they can actually leverage discipline, courage, or strength to their advantage. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. This quote suggests that proactive leaders who are prepared and take initiative gain an advantage over reactive leaders who are forced to catch up, enabling them to approach challenges with fresh energy and resources. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. This quote means that effective leaders recognize the importance of well-timed, decisive decision-making, similar to the swift and precise strike of a falcon, enabling them to achieve their goals. All men can see the tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. This quote suggests that true leadership involves developing unseen strategies that serve as the foundation for successful tactics. It goes beyond what is visible to others and highlights the importance of strategic thinking, planning, and foresight in effective leadership. Do not repeat the tactics which have gained you one victory, but let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances. This quote emphasizes that adaptive leaders understand the need to adjust tactics based on changing circumstances rather than relying solely on past successes, embracing flexibility and responding to unique situations. He who can modify his tactics in relation to his opponent and thereby succeed in winning may be called a heaven-born captain. This quote highlights that skilled leaders possess the ability to adjust their tactics in response to their opponents, showcasing exceptional adaptability and increasing their chances of success. The difficulty of tactical maneuvering consists in turning the devious into the direct, and misfortune into gain. This quote emphasizes that effective leaders excel in transforming complex situations into straightforward paths and turning setbacks into opportunities, demonstrating their mastery of tactical maneuvering. Maneuvering with an army is advantageous, with an undisciplined multitude, most dangerous. This quote means that leaders recognize the importance of discipline and organization within a group. Maneuvering with a disciplined army yields advantages, while leading an undisciplined group poses significant risks. We are not fit to lead an army on the march unless we are familiar with the face of the country, its mountains and forests, its pitfalls and precipices, its marshes and swamps. This quote emphasizes that effective leaders must have a deep understanding of the environment they operate in, including its challenges and opportunities, to lead their teams successfully. Move not unless you see an advantage, use not your troops unless there is something to be gained, fight not unless the position is critical. This quote emphasizes that strategic leaders exercise caution and choose their actions wisely, ensuring that there is a clear advantage and purpose before making any moves or engaging in battles. No ruler should put troops into the field merely to gratify his own spleen. No general should fight a battle simply out of pique. This quote suggests that leaders should not let personal emotions or ego guide their decision-making, as using resources or engaging in conflicts for selfish reasons can lead to detrimental outcomes. What enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer, and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men, is foreknowledge. This quote highlights that successful leaders possess foresight and the ability to anticipate and prepare for future challenges. This capability empowers them to accomplish exceptional outcomes. When the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct, when there are no fixed duties assigned to officers and men, and the ranks are formed in a slovenly haphazard manner, the result is utter disorganization. This quote highlights that ineffective leadership marked by weakness, lack of authority, unclear communication, and disorganized structures leads to chaos and failure. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight, even though the ruler forbid it. If fighting will not result in victory, then you must not fight even at the ruler's bidding. This quote emphasizes that wise leaders prioritize the likelihood of victory over external pressure or personal desires. They make decisions based on strategic calculations rather than following orders blindly. Regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. This quote highlights that leaders who demonstrate care, empathy, and a strong sense of responsibility towards their team members foster loyalty, dedication, and unwavering support from their followers. The general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom. This quote emphasizes that exemplary leaders prioritize the greater good, serving their organization or community with humility and selflessness, valuing the well-being of their country or institution above personal gain. A leader leads by example, not by force. This quote highlights that effective leaders inspire and influence others through their actions, setting a positive example that motivates and guides their team members. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. This quote emphasizes that skillful leaders strategically lure their opponents into vulnerable positions by creating enticing opportunities or presenting deceptive appearances, only to exploit their weaknesses and defeat them decisively. If equally matched, we can offer battle. If slightly inferior in numbers, we can avoid the enemy. If quite unequal in every way, we can flee from him. This quote suggests that leaders should evaluate the balance of power and make strategic decisions accordingly. They can choose to engage in battle when evenly matched, avoid confrontation when slightly disadvantaged, and retreat when facing overwhelming odds. Thus it is that in war the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. This quote highlights that successful leaders aim to secure advantages before engaging in battles or conflicts, ensuring victory is likely. Conversely, those headed for defeat fight first and hope for a reversal of fortune. The control of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. This quote emphasizes that effective leadership involves skillful delegation and management of resources, whether overseeing a large group or a small team. Dividing and organizing resources optimally is crucial to success. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy, and does not require too much from individuals. This quote highlights that astute leaders harness the collective energy and coordinated efforts of their team members, focusing on the overall impact rather than placing excessive burdens on individuals. You can be sure of succeeding in your attacks if you only attack places which are undefended. This quote suggests that smart leaders choose their battles wisely, targeting vulnerable points or areas where defenses are weak. By focusing on attacking undefended positions, they increase their chances of success. O divine art of subtlety and secrecy! Through you we learn to be invisible, through you inaudible, and hence we can hold the enemy's fate in our hands. This quote highlights that skillful leaders understand the power of subtlety and secrecy. By maintaining invisibility and remaining unheard, they gain a strategic advantage, manipulating the fate of their opponents. Numerical weakness comes from having to prepare against possible attacks, numerical strength, from compelling our adversary to make these preparations against us. This quote emphasizes that leaders facing numerical weakness often need to allocate resources for defense, while those with numerical strength can force their adversaries to spend resources on preparation, giving them an advantage. Knowing the place and the time of the coming battle, we may concentrate from the greatest distances in order to fight. This quote highlights that leaders who possess knowledge of the battlefield, including its location and timing, can strategically position their resources and concentrate their forces effectively to engage in battle. In making tactical dispositions, the highest pitch you can attain is to conceal them. This quote emphasizes that effective leaders excel in concealing their tactical plans and intentions, ensuring their strategies remain hidden from their opponents until the optimal moment for execution. Carefully compare the opposing army with your own, so that you may know where strength is superabundant and where it is deficient. This quote highlights that astute leaders analyze and compare their own resources with those of their adversaries, identifying areas where they possess excess strength and areas where they may be deficient, allowing them to adjust their strategies accordingly.